It's time for the 1430 Connection on 1430 WNAV and 99.9 FM, spotlighting news, newsmakers, and important community issues. Now, with this week's edition of the 1430 Connection, here is WNAV news anchor Donna Cole.
Welcome to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me today, I welcome Betty McGinnis. She is the founder and president of World Artist Experiences. It's an Arnold-based nonprofit, yes?
Yes.
Thank you for joining me, Betty.
Thank you for inviting us here.
It's my pleasure. Tell our audience what World Artist Experiences does.
World Artist Experiences is a nonprofit, of course, which bridges international understanding through cultural and citizen diplomacy in communities, schools, and colleges. The organization seeks to bridge people and cultures across the continents. Most of our performances are in different venues, such as Maryland Hall, St. John's College, and other communities. But then when the groups come, we try to arrange for them to go to schools, and we work with the school system to bridge the world, to help to develop global citizenship in the world, because that too is one of our goals.
These artists are visiting from throughout the world. What's the most unique group you've ever had, or artist you've ever had?
The groups come really through the embassies and ministries of culture and education, and sometimes international organizations. So the most unique group that we have had, I must say everyone's unique, but I think that some of the ones that are unique to the population here are those that people are not so accustomed to. And sometimes when we first began, we tried to bring in groups from China and the Arab world.
When were you founded?
We were founded in 2002, so this is our 16th year.
Well, happy 16 to you. What was the impetus for this, Betty? Because you were the founder.
You know, it was the arts are an international language, and really only such a small percentage of our people in our country have passports, and so don't get to visit the world. And so it was a great feeling of mine that the people should have people-to-people experiences, and the arts, since they are an international language, they represent the spirit of the people of the world, was a great way to bring to Annapolis, to Anne Arundel County, to the area, the world through the arts. And in doing this, it was a hope that there would be a giving and receiving relationship with people in the community, and that is what we've tried to do all along, is have experiences for the community, including the schools and colleges, but also to have experiences for the groups that come.
And had you had an experience, were you in the arts prior to that? Go ahead.
I love the arts and had been involved in the arts in many ways over the years, but I'd also been involved with the world and different kinds of projects.
In what way?
In taking groups around the world to learn from and with the people of the world, and to bring people from different parts of the world here to do some development projects. I'd worked with a couple of nonprofits, with several embassies. I was, and also with the church, had seen the great meaningfulness that people from the world could bring to us here in the United States. And as we learn from them and with them and discuss with them and have dialogue so that there's mutual understanding among people of the world, we found that these groups have brought the spirit of the world, and when they do that, they really dispel stereotypes and misunderstandings, and the people learn about the country. And once you sit at a table with someone and stay in someone's home, which most of our groups do, there's a different understanding among people, and you never forget them.
That is interesting. So they're coming here. They're not coming here with a lot of money because, again, artist.
And so we try to give them and provide for them here when they're
with
here.
Private homes to stay in,
And
not
private
hotels.
homes. And we give them experiences in the community, often with other artists, often with seeing the community, learning from us, and of course going to different places such as a senior center or a school or a college. They learn there as well about our country. It's really marvelous to see these groups come, because when they come, it's like they stay with the people. They really get to know the people in many venues. And so when they leave, it's like,
Member of the family leaving.
They're a member of the family leaving, but also they go, we never knew the U.S. was this way. We never knew people in the U.S. this way.
And for some of these artists, it's their first time visiting, I'm sure, right?
A good percentage.
So you already had the know-how with the embassies before you founded the organization?
Minimally. But they really are partners with us. They really are partners because they know every group that comes and work with us. And so sometimes they will come through a conservatory, an international organization, but most of the time through the embassies or ministries of culture.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more about World Artist Experiences. This is Donna Cole on the 1430 Connection. We will be right back. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is Betty McGinnis. She is the founder and president of Arnold-based World Artist Experiences. The organization brings artists from around the world to Maryland to perform for Marylanders and beyond Maryland as well.
Sometimes we go to other states, but primarily it's in Maryland, and primarily the base, of course, is in Anne Arundel County.
And cultural immersion experiences?
Cultural immersion experiences are experiences that we offer to groups where we take groups into Washington primarily and immerse them into a country or region of the world. We used to do this for the public, but now we primarily do it for colleges and schools and communities. So what we do is we'll have a bus that we will charter, and people will board the bus, and from the moment they step on the bus, they're immersed into that part of the world. They have a taste of the country and music, sometimes a lecture, sometimes a language lesson, music, as much as we can pack in on the road to Washington. Then when they get into Washington, they might go usually to the embassy of the country or countries, then usually to a museum, often to different venues in Washington, and there's always a meal from the country. And we work again with the embassies to put this together. So this is for people here, and there might be one for, say, the International Baccalaureate program in Anne Arundel County that we would take a group into Washington, the teachers. We do a lot for educators. We might take a group from a college, the community, and do a program, say, on the Arab world. So it's U.S. citizens going with us to be immersed by the people. You
need help to continue doing what you're doing, yes?
We do, because the organization is run the volunteers are the heart and soul of the organization. There's no paid staff with this organization.
So, and if somebody wants to give some time of themselves, where do they find out more?
They can go to the website. They can email us.
And what's the website?
They can look at the Facebook. It's www.worlartist.org.
And a good email for somebody?
WAE@Comcast.net.
All right, perfect. We're going to take another short break, but when we come back, more about World Artist Experiences. We'll be right back on the 1430 Connection. Welcome back to the 1430 Connection. I'm Donna Cole. In the studio with me is Betty McGinnis. She's founder and president of World Artist Experiences. It's an Arnold-based nonprofit. Tell me about your season. Tell me who's coming.
Beginning September 24th, we'll have the Megaron Choir from the country of Slovenia. Slovenia is a marvelous little country that was in Central Europe. And the Megaron Choir will be at St. John's College Key Auditorium on September 24. The Megaron Choir is known really all over Europe. They've sung with major orchestras and groups throughout Europe and other countries as well. So we welcome them on September the 24th, and then they will be in other parts of Maryland throughout the rest of the week. And they will also be in with one of our international baccalaureate schools on September 25th, having a master class and performing for some schools.
Is the concert at St. John's, is that free?
It's free and open to the public.
And what time is it?
First serve. It's at 7 p.m.
Very good. I'm seeing something also tell me about some of the other groups that you have coming.
So in October, we have a lecture on the land of the pharaohs and dinosaurs from Egypt. Really a museum quality lecture from a man who has traveled the world to speak on this topic. He's and then
and who is he?
Dr. Hisham Salim will be coming.
And is he a paleontologist, or is he?
He is a paleontologist, but he's also and a scientist. But he has he's a curator for museums and Egyptology, and so he will be with us lecturing on October the 4th out at the State Government Building, 100 Community Place in Crownsville.
That's where he's doing his lecture?
Right.
And that's at 7 p.m. That's also free to the public?
That's free to the public.
This sounds like very Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like we're going to walk in and see Harrison Ford with the hat on. But...
You'll have a great lecture.
All right, go on.
And then in November, we'll present Mexico. Mexico will come here on November the 3rd. It will be at St. John's College again, Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock.
And this is Natalia Arroyo,
Natalia Arroyo Ensemble, and
right.
It's made up of. The group is doing ensembles that Natalia Arroyo has created and composed of the farmers, the fishermen, and the folk groups, and very much of an environmentalist. So she will be coming with 2 instrumentalists with her, and this again will be at St. John's College.
And if you're in North County on the following day,
she'll be at the Chesapeake Arts Center the following day on
November 5th. November 4th.
4th on November 4, and then she will at 7 o'clock.
All right. Beyond that, looking ahead, there's also, by the way, these aren't the only performances and lectures. We're sticking to what's in the local area. So all of these are on the World Artist Experiences website. If you're not in Anne Arundel or Queen Anne's counties, there's more north and east and all over the state. Cultural Experience Latin America. Tell me about that, because that's in Western Maryland, but it still is interesting.
Yes, it will be a cultural immersion experience out of Allegheny College. It will be going to places like the Organization of American States, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Embassy of Mexico, the Embassy of Paraguay. And so it will be a complete cultural immersion for the full day on Latin America.
And let's see, China, you have a New Year's celebration, but you're not sure. You're still working on that.
It will be January 28 or 29. It will be the Tangible Cultural Heritage Crafts and a performance at Maryland Hall. We've done this a number of years at Maryland Hall, and it will be our only one that we'll do in this. In the area, it will be, and the date is not quite decided by the group coming. So
keep an eye on the website or the Facebook page. You are also on Facebook. 12th annual Bridges to the World Film Festival.
That begins at the beginning of February, yeah. And will be every day of the week in some place in Maryland. It will be at Maryland Hall at the film center they have there. And it will feature film from Rwanda, from Lebanon, from Finland.
Subtitles.
Yes, and there will be subtitles. There will be 5 film from 5 countries in 5 weeks. And so each week there will be an introduction to the film, a screening, and a discussion.
I'm really excited about this. I don't know how it was off my radar, but now it is on my radar. I love films, so I'm excited about that.
Great. They're a film that the embassies, again, select. They can be recent films and they're older films, but they're films that the embassy selects as a representative of the spirit of their country.
Looking ahead beyond that, March 1st through the 20th, you'll have some puppet artists from China coming to visit, it looks like. You haven't set the dates on that?
No, they're not set. They're the first 15 days of March, and they'll be in different parts of the state, and we'll start out here in Anne Arundel County. They'll be in workshops. Be workshops for teachers and probably a workshop for the public someplace. And then small performances, primarily in schools.
And beyond that, you've got Slovakia represented again, Bratislava Boys Choir. Yes?
The Bratislava Boys Choir, put that on your calendar. The exact dates, it's the last 2 weeks, and we will have them of April. And the exact dates have not been set because we're trying to work out educational experiences for the boys as well as experiences for our public.
Yeah, in case you're wondering why some of the dates are the dates are hard when you're working with big school systems or when you're working with counties or wherever that these artists will be. It's hard to get the slot, so they will happen. Just keep an eye on the website, right?
And also, it's sometimes you're working with the world, and
right?
And so the dates shift a little bit. And so this group we're working on, as well as the experiences for the public, we want this to be very much of an educational experience for the boys.
Beyond that, possibly some groups from Cuba and Brazil. Tell me about that.
We hope to have a group from Cuba, a troubadour, who's quite well known. It will be toward the end of the year. We're trying to decide on these dates now.
Okay, so dance. Tell me, we both have a dance background,
yeah, we do.
But not us personally, but through kids. Can we look forward to any dance troupes in the near future?
Well, usually in the China group, we always have a dance. We try to have as many of the different art forms, but it depends on the groups that are coming through the embassies, and so. Yes, we hope to have dance, and I would imagine that in that China festival there will be some dance. Every year there's some dance.
All right. You said you always need volunteers. You also said these artists stay in homes, so I guess those homes aren't always easy to find. How can people contact you and say? They can
contact WAE@Comcast.net. In the ambassador, we have an ambassador team here in each community, and in Annapolis, Barbara and Mark Wynn chair that team. And so they can, again, I think WAE@Comcast.net, and that will get to them.
Well, Betty, thank you for bringing the world to us.
Oh, what a joy, and it's really been everyone that works for the organization, volunteers for the organization, cares so much about the world, and we want to make a difference because our real goal is to build trust and respect, mutual understanding, and thus small steps toward peace in our world.
Well, again, thank you for doing it, and thank you for joining me today.
And thank you so much for having us.
This is Donna Cole on the 1430 Connection. We will see you next week.